Welcome to Understanding Politics. My name is Jadiel Kabiro, and here with the owner, can I call you the owner of this channel, Professor Herman Manyora. You were able to mobilize 42,000 people to subscribe to your channel.
Thank you very much. Also, the last show we had, people have told me things. They think you are a very good young man. I hope they don't steal you from me.
I'm here to stay. We didn't talk about your subscribers last time.
Yes.
We talked about it off the camera, and we said it was. You told me it was a struggle, and you appreciate the people. How has the growth been for you?
Well, we started very well in 2017. We hit the Google targets. The young men who helped us set up this channel were recognized by Google team.
Wow.
We received congratulatory messages from Google within the first 2 or 3 months because we had hit 10,000 subscribers. Well, we have not grown as fast as we would have, but I reckon we have also not been sharing with our viewers that please subscribe. I have just learned a short while ago that people think when you subscribe, you pay for it. They don't know it's free. Many people don't know it's free.
It's
that subscribe red button there, just press. It's free. It makes you receive the.
But I told you there's someone who said that you don't ask for subscribe.
Yeah, I've never asked. I didn't know. Well, but I think it's not out of anything. We're also learning.
It's a process. Last week,
we would need to share with as many people as possible.
Last week I told you that people your age are not good with these things.
Yes.
And everybody in the comments were like, but we are at the same age with Prof and doing well. I'm sorry guys. When we come back, we take a look at some of the things he said about Professor's analysis for last week. And my goodness, you had a lot to say.
Great.
Professor, last Saturday you said no elections in 2022. Let me just ask, were you angry in that video because it felt like there's a lot you wanted to share and you felt like people are not getting you?
Sometimes you get passionate. I didn't start this channel for other people started maybe to do. No, I just want to share with Kenyans. I feel so strongly about this country. I love this country so strongly.
It got to a point.
Sometimes I get passionate about it.
We felt it.
What I'm saying, for example, I was saying, we can land in a constitutional crisis. Countries have gotten into problems for lesser problems than the ones we are going around with. So I was saying, if this judgment stands, for example, and the same courts ask Uhuru now, there's a pending petition in High Court. The people about dissolution of parliament.
Yes.
Supposing Uhuru is pushed to the wall and then he dissolves parliament, you don't have IBC.
We'll talk about
that's
that.
The problem I was talking about.
Next couple of minutes in the talk. But Daniel Oluoch said, you may agree or disagree with the court ruling, but this one made me feel a Kenyan. This was a milestone strengthening our judiciary. Did you feel that we at least are independent in our judiciary when they made that? I
was proud to be a Kenyan. Listening to Ngoge, Professor Ngoge, Justice Ngoge, and his 4 colleagues, I was proud to be a Kenyan.
But
I've never been more proud.
But there was something.
I have always looked for an assertive, a bold judiciary. I was excited. I felt a very proud Kenyan, and up now I'm still walking with my head high as a Kenyan.
Did you feel like they were naive somehow?
I don't want to use the word naive, but I want to say I have argued now since then that this is a judgment that cannot stand scrutiny in appeal court. They went outside the law. The most glaring being, they are telling us if you want to amend the constitution, first of all, they make it very difficult. But in the unlikely event you are granted that small room by the court, then you'll go outside the constitution
to amend it.
The procedures and the law, the steps will not be found within the constitution. You go outside.
So that's why you're saying there was a constitutional crisis. There is.
No, I'm saying there can be a constitutional crisis because of some of the declarations are threatening. For example, if you dissolve parliament today and the declaration that IBC is not proper, who would conduct elections to bring back parliament? You need parliament for the country to run.
Absolutely. And they have 90 days to do the election.
There are so many things you need. We are moving. It would appear to me not many Kenyans are seeing how close we are to the next election. This is my problem. And I get passionate because of that.
Yeah.
August is tomorrow. Next year is tomorrow in politics.
Yes.
It is so close, but I'm not seeing sufficient preparation. And I'm seeing anytime we tinker with things, we could take forward the wrong foot and we find ourselves in problems.
Samuel Wambugu, Herman Manyora, that's a perfect analysis and advice. But I also think that this ruling is a way of inviting the military to take over Kenya, and things will not be the same again. I wish Kenyans and the judiciary through the Court of Appeal will listen to the voices of reason like yours, and not you said another political analyst, I'm not going to mention his name.
A short while ago, I was talking to a friend from the United Kingdom. He was telling me, Manyora, why are you not reminding people in Kenya that Donald Trump could have won the elections, but the courts, including his own judges, were not entertaining him? Because you look at the bigger picture, you look at what you can cause. He also reminded me, and I don't know how I'd forgotten, 2000 or thereabouts, Al Gore had a case, but the Supreme Court didn't entertain him. The courts in America refused to entertain Trump. Not even listening to him. Even
from not just the courts, even the social media platforms, it was cancelled
Yes,
everywhere.
because you think Facebook and Twitter didn't know Trump had a point. And to many people he won. But you see, and I'll go in 2000 or thereabouts. It is sometimes you look at what a judgment or a decision can plunge the country into. So the courts must always be awake to the reality. If you tell Uhuru, dissolve parliament, yet you know the role of parliament in the management of public affairs and in legislation and the running of government. If Uhuru heeded Maraga's call or advice, and the following day at State House, he invited the media and dissolved parliament. And then there's this kind of judgment that somebody goes to court and gets this kind of judgment. Immediately you are, and you cannot know who can even instigate it. It can even be deep state itself.
Just to kick someone out.
So he dissolves parliament. Just before IBC begins conducting another election, some Mutata or some Manyora goes to court, and then he gets the judgment we were given by Justice Ngogi that IBC cannot conduct an election, for example. You are in a constitutional crisis. And that may even play in the hands of Uhuru. Now, because somebody must continue being president, as you sort up your small messes around here, this is why I invite Kenyans always to be sober. When they are looking at
we'll be talking about the constitutional crisis in the talk, but let's look at Geoffrey Jeff. It's called Geoffrey Jeff. Prof, you are good. The judges should listen. You cannot say that everything was wrong. Any idea is initiated by single people who are later on popularize it to become popular initiative. Now he is just saying that the president was right to initiate the BBI, and you were saying that the president is Wanjiku. But what about the people that say the president cannot be Wanjiku because he is in the government?
I'm always wanting to be guided by the law. The moment when you stick inside the law, you are safe. If you try to step outside, you could get into problems.
And you get your own opinion.
Because the law does not tell us who initiates the popular initiative. Now, it's a matter of interpretation, who does and who can't. So I choose to be, when it is open and generous like that, you can give it a generous interpretation. To mean, the president may want to change the constitution, and the MPs may not agree with him. To that extent, he may find it necessary to go through the popular initiative to help Kenyans. Maybe he wants something MPs don't want, like removing their salaries. Changing their salaries and their packs. I've said this repeatedly. So I choose to give it that interpretation. The High Court gave it the other interpretation.
Is there a lot that you think should be interpreted after that ruling?
There's nothing to interpret. It is the High Court that introduced interpretation where none was required.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
The Constitution has a very clear roadmap of how it can be amended. Now they are disregarding those clear roadmaps and introducing theirs, saying we can only amend the Constitution using the same procedure we used to come up with the 2010 Constitution. And I'm saying that is wrong. That was a struggle. We were in the trenches. You get it?
Yes.
Yes, that was a struggle. That was a reform process. It produced the 2010 Constitution. Now that we have it, it provides on how it can be amended in a civil manner.
When we come back, we have the talk, constitutional crisis. There is a lot that people need to understand. Prof, we are in a place where, as you said, somehow a constitutional crisis. And this is being brought about not knowing the next step for so many people after Chief Justice Maraga called for the dissolvement of Parliament. And my question is, why are we where we are right now, and who should we blame, the President or the members of Parliament?
It begins with the provision in the Constitution that was not clear, and it has not been understood well. Nowhere was it required of Parliament to enact the 2/3 gender rule. There is a misconception. It is wrong, but that's what drove Parliament. And you see they are male dominated.
But for 10 times they've been told to
yeah, I think everybody was wrong if you look at the law, if you look at the Constitution. But the problem begins with the constitutional framers. They were throwing the can, kicking the can down the hill. You know why? When it came to the counties, they said after elections you count the number of men and women. If the women are not at least 1/3, you top up.
Okay.
When it came, I think under 2/3, when it came to Parliament, they were ambivalent. They were not clear. They were not as clear as that. So that has set in motion a process of interpretation and misinterpretation. But finally, Maraga advised the president to dissolve Parliament, which in my view was a very narrow way of looking at the relationship between politics and law. Because if Uhuru had heeded his advice, perhaps this country will be in a problem.
Do you think Uhuru should have? Because the Constitution states that the president shall. And Dr. Miguna, he was saying that according to the Constitution, shall means a directive. Do you think the president should have?
Shall has been misunderstood. Let's even agree with them. It means must.
Okay.
But did not say when.
Oh.
So then, because when the Constitution is dealing with things that are as serious as that, it puts very clear timelines in terms of days, in terms of what. It is silent there, and I'm telling you, it is deliberate.
Okay.
The framers of the Constitution knew this thing will never be done the way it is.
Okay.
It can't be done because all the options that were being given, they can't work.
Right now, then, the Parliament has continued working since Maraga's advisory. Yes. Has it been unconstitutional in the decisions that have been passed through Parliament, including the BBI one?
No, because that thing is still very debatable. As you and I speak now, it is still before the court. So we don't know what the court will say. We'll need to wait for what the court says. But that bit of it being unconstitutional is very, very tricky. Because that's why I'm saying judges must be awake to the reality on the ground. If you say it has been unconstitutional, and that's from around 2017.
Yes.
You are saying government has been in place illegally.
Including the
all the decisions made where Parliament took part have been unconstitutional. How will the country move forward? You can't move a country like that.
Then who should we blame for all this?
There's no need of blaming anybody. Going forward, whenever things are not clear as Kenyans, we must make laws that make them very clear. Like BBI was attempting to handle this, to cure this 2/3 gender rule. But I may not agree with it, but at least it is an attempt.
But now it has been called null and void and unconstitutional. Would you rather it being suspended by the Court of Appeal, the ruling?
That's what I would want.
Why?
I think it would be a better way. First of all, the law is bad. The judgment is wrong according to me. And even it puts the country on a very wrong trajectory. I believe BBI was trying to address a problem.
Okay. When we come back, my favorite segment, Would You Rather, I don't know about you, getting to understand what the professor thinks about some of these politicians and how their personal life is. Professor, today you're in charge of hiring people.
Yes.
You're the president of this country.
Correct.
And you need to have a DP. Choose one, Mudavadi or Kalonzo.
Hey, that's such a terrible choice. I'll choose Mudavadi. I'll be a bit of a tribalist. I'll choose Mudavadi.
Come on.
Yes.
Why Mudavadi?
Because you know Kenya is a tribal country. Mudavadi is a Luya and I'm a Luya. I would have some bragging rights.
Okay. Your son is studying law. Okay. For now. He has to choose a mentor. Senior Counsel Otiende Omolo or Ahmed Nasir.
Hey, these are good guys. Both of them are. I like Grand Mullah is controversial.
Yeah.
Otiende Omolo is a sharp mind.
Okay. Choose
I
one.
think I'll have a problem choosing.
You have to choose.
But because maybe I'll choose the Grand Mullah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now you've moved to a new house. You need an interior designer. You have two very good at their jobs, Mother Karua and Millicent Omanga.
Mother Karua, without doubt.
Why Mother?
I believe in that lady. She's an iron lady. Occasionally we disagree, like on this Linda Katiba thing. I've advised them they should move to bring an amendment that it ring fences the things they are talking about. But she's steadfast. She's an upright Kenyan. She's a fighter.
She'll do a
I
good
would choose
job.
her anytime over any other woman in this country.
I think Millicent Omanga would do a good job. She looks like she has that eye.
And in fact, it is being unfair to Mother Karua. How can you put Mother Karua and Mr. Omanga in the same sentence? That's being unfair to Mother.
Thank you for making time, for having this conversation. This has been Understanding Politics. I hope we've gotten a little bit of getting to know these politicians and why we are where we are in terms of our constitution. Thanks again for coming through.
Thank you very much.
If you haven't subscribed yet, just as the professor had said, go ahead and do so.
Thank you.